Hi there, Sagittarius. Welcome to a love reading for December 2025. And I was just thinking, is it Sagittarius season? I'm recording this on November 22nd. And as an astrologer, I was thinking I should know this, But the reason I don't is because, first of all, it changes every year. And I did the horoscopes for December. No, I'm sorry, November in October, like early October. So it's been quite a while, and I don't always keep that in mind. I think it was probably yesterday that the sun went into Sagittarius. So, okay, let's see what we've got here. And I should say too, this reading is for anyone, despite, regardless of your relationship status. Sometimes I'll just say this is for singles or people in relationships, but this one I'm going to do both. Let me just gather the rest of these cards. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Devil card. The Devil, in general, regardless of what issue we're talking about, can connect with the, with lust and greed, kind of being controlled by material desires. And so it can be a bit of a challenge sometimes because that does come up in relationships. And also another thing I want to say too is that to me the Devil card, if somebody is in a relationship that's troubled, yeah, that's another thing I want to say is that these readings are intended for if you are coupled. It's like if you have a troubled relationship, not if your relationship's going well. So in that case, the Devil card might be somebody who is a narcissist, a malignant narcissist, or even a covert narc who is very needy and always trying to get other people to help them, but they're not willing to help themselves, and you feel like obligated, guilty for for even thinking about refusing such a person. But especially the relationships that are based on something other than love, whether you're have this lust lustful connection with someone but the love isn't there, so it's kind of like you feel like you're using each other for sex. And then you have or maybe for money, somebody you're there because somebody has a lot of money and you want to live in a certain lifestyle. But maybe that comes at a price too. That isn't like the worst thing in the world if both parties knows exactly what's going on. But sometimes the person with the money can, use that to control the other person, including abusing them. Physical abuse is really horrendous, but so is emotional abuse. And if the other person just takes it because they don't want to hop off the gravy train, that can be very dehumanizing. In the past position, we have the Queen of Wands. So it suggests that you have um, gained something maybe within yourself. You've grown to love yourself more. And so this kind of person doesn't have the same hold over you. And by the way, if you are single, Sag, you could still be hung up on somebody who is like this. And it makes it very hard to move on because sometimes these people are very charismatic and they can suck you back into their web, pretty easily if you're not, vigilant. So you have to be very on top of things when it comes to that. The higher message is the Strength card. It kind of reminds me of the Queen of Wands. This card is connected to Leo, but I also believe the Queen of Wands is, they say the Queen of Wands is connected to Sagittarius, in case you didn't know that. But, she's holding a sunflower in a lot of these, depictions, and that the sun rules Leo. But in any case, the Strength card really is about when you start to practice self-love. It's like, to me, it's exponential because it builds upon itself and you become more and more confident. It's a quiet strength. It's an inner strength. It's not something that's boastful, that's kind of like in your face. It's a very quiet thing, but it's the Strength card can even be somebody who's recuperating from an illness. So I'm likening it to that in terms of, being in a relationship with someone who is not treating you properly. Yeah, I mean, it can feel like you are kind of recovering from something, and that can be very gratifying to be able to kind of grow your confidence if you have felt that somebody tore it down. And yeah, I mean, when you think about the devil, it's like the epitome of evil. And some of these people, they kind of prey on sensitive souls, people who are already. That's why empaths are often the main target of narcissists, because if the narc was with somebody who was like them, they would tell them to F off, the other, and that's what's so funny about it. Other people who have narcissistic traits, they don't put up with this crap. It's only the empaths who give people like 10 chances, not just a second chance, but chance after chance, because we see the good in everyone. Well, good luck with that, because I mean, in a relationship like that, because eventually you find out that, oh, so it is their responsibility to get their life in order and start treating people properly. Oh, okay. I thought there was something I could do to facilitate that. Okay. And that's how you become strong, because you realize what isn't your responsibility. What crosses you is the Knight of Swords. I think this is a card that's associated with, well, I don't think no, it's not with Sag. It would be Knight of Wands. But the Knight of Swords is about change being afoot, but it's blocked by the devil. And by the way, this can even be your inner attitude towards life. Remember that skit, The Devil Made Me Do It? Because really, people want to create this outer bogeyman for their own shadow. And it's really within yourself. Actually, the Knight of Swords can also be very, I would call it like chaotic energy. There are lightning flashes here to suggest like kind of those sudden changes, but it's very freedom loving, very like in your face. But sometimes Sag gets carried away. It can be non-committal. It can be, actually, it's more with communications, brash, maybe unthinking at times, and Sag has to watch that. Being a Sag myself, having Mercury in Sagittarius, I can attest to that. What's coming in is the Queen of Swords, and you see the look on her face. There's a coolness. It's a combination of emotional detachment and mental clarity coming together so that you can, not get pulled by your emotions and make an important decision in your life. And the outcome is a judgment. There's where the decision comes in, whether this is getting divorced from a narcissist, using your judgment, discerning when you're dating. All of these things suggest that you're kind of, even if you're single, that you're still working through something, maybe from a past relationship. I don't know. And that's what I have for you, Sag. If you would like a private reading, please click on the link below. Take care. Bye.